to Flush Kitchen. I have never been more excited about an episode. We're doing a Persian New Year's themed episode, which, if you're not familiar with the concept, is also the astrological New Year. It's also the Spring Equinox. It's happening in a couple of days. And so we're doing some Persian inspired recipes, but made vegan and healthy and all the fun things. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make tea. Well, we're gonna make a tea latte situation. So I have this little tea strainer. I also have my teapot and I'm gonna put tea in it. So I've been planning to do this episode for so long. I mean, it was always gonna be released at this time, but I've been planning it in my head for so long, and I've been trying to get my hands on like the really good Persian bread. And I asked my parents to mail it, but they were like, oh, it's not gonna be as fresh, blah, blah, whatever. Anyway, the stars perfectly fucking align because last weekend, one of my close friends from DC was coming up to New York, and she was like, hey, do you need me to bring anything for you since I'm coming up? She was staying with me for a night. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Could you bring this fucking Persian bread for me? So my parents dropped it off with her, and they also gave me some of their tea. It's like the literal tea that they drink. It's the Persian black tea. It smells like perfume. I can't wait for technology to advance to a point where we can get like smell through tech. And I don't think we're that far off. Like, I don't know. I don't think we're that far off. Like, literally, what the fuck am I even saying anymore? I don't think we're far, but I don't think is it like so impossible to do it? I don't know. I just feel like it could happen. Like, I don't think it's that unrealistic for it to happen. Also, I feel like I've probably told this story a billion times on the pod, but just in case I haven't, or just in case you just haven't heard it, I am gonna tell it. Hold on, let me go grab my hot water. So for this, I am using boiling water, by the way. Also, just a side note, so I love this kettle. Like, I die for it. I think it's so chic. I think it's like perfect looking, but it is a kettle that is designed for making pour over coffee. It is not a kettle that's designed for anything else. So pouring out of it this way for anything other than pour over is just so fucking annoying, but whatever. Okay, let me refill this. Life hack, always refill your kettle, put it right back on. That way you always have hot water ready to go. I keep it at like 85 degrees Celsius when it's just, what's the word? Like when it's idling. We can say when it's idling, I just keep it at 85 degrees Celsius. That way it's not like boiling, but it is hot. So it just takes like a minute to get it to boiling if you need it, or you can tweak it around for whatever else you need. This is if you're someone who's just like in a constant state of drinking tea like I am. Okay, let me go do that and then I'll resume the smell story. Okay. I put the kettle back on. Our tea is steeping. And while the tea steeps, I'm gonna tell you the story, and then I do have to tell you about the rest of the drink we're making. But like, I'm gonna wait for a minute for the tea to steep anyway, so whatever. Okay, so in 2020, this was early days of lockdown. It must have been somewhere between March and like the end of the summer. Is that super relevant to the story? Probably not, but whatever. I'm just putting context to it. So I think, you know, I call my parents like 450 times a day. I've actually only talked to them once a day, and they probably were like, oh no, is our daughter dead? Because usually she calls us 6 more times before now. So I'm on my evening call with my mom, and she's on speaker, and I was like doing my evening skincare or something, and all of a sudden, and I just want to preface the next thing I'm gonna say with, I did not say anything out loud. Okay, I think this is very important to the story. All of a sudden I smell something. I can't explain it. It's like nothing I've ever smelled before. It's just the most unique, interesting smell I've ever smelled. It's like kind of floral, like a little bit rose adjacent. And rose water is really big in Persian culture. Like we use it a lot, like in desserts and things like that. Not so much in mains. Actually, I believe in Arab food, they use rose water in their main dishes quite a bit, but in Persian culture, we use it a lot in desserts and drinks and stuff like that. Like it's very much a part of the culture is the best way I could describe it. Anyway, why does that matter? Not at all, quite frankly. Anyway, but it kind of had like a rose adjacent smell to it, but different. It was different than anything I've ever smelled in my life. And I'm just smelling it and not saying anything. And like, what the fuck is this smell? Where did it come from? Like, how can I get more of it? Like, I still think about this smell all the time. It was unbelievable. Like, it was heavenly is the only way I could describe it. Like, it's what I would imagine heaven would smell like. Okay, so I'm gonna fucking kill someone. Okay, sorry, I just abruptly stopped that story because, like, not to break the fourth wall, there was a tech issue, but I'm back now. I can't remember exactly where I left off. Oh, so I'm smelling this smell and I'm like, oh my God, it's so amazing, whatever, not saying anything. All of a sudden my mom goes, what's that smell? And I was like, what smell, Mom? And she goes, by the way, my parents live outside of DC. I'm in New York. We're very far apart. There's no logical reason why we would be smelling the same smell. And she goes, it smells kind of like rose, but different. And she goes, it's like nothing I've ever smelled before, and it smells like it's coming through the phone. And I was like, Mom, you might not believe this, but I'm smelling the same smell that you're smelling, and I also don't know what it is and where it's coming from. So anyway, that's my very long-winded way of saying that I just kind of feel like it's like the tech can't be that far off from us being able to transmit odor through the phone. Okay, that was a really stupid story. I'm so sorry that that happened. Anyway, let's go on and make our little tea latte. So I don't mind that unnecessarily loud sound. So I have some leftover milk from when I had coffee this morning. I actually had 2 cups of coffee, so that's why it kind of looks gross. So, you know, just like, let's not, you know, appearance shame this milk. I'm just topping it off a little bit because do you remember how a few episodes ago I was saying like I'm loving my espresso machine but having a lot of issues with the milk frother situation? Well, I figured it out. And it's basically the milk has to be above a certain amount, but I don't actually use that much in my coffee, so I end up just recycling it. It's whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so for our tea latte, we're just frothing some milk, and while that froths, and it is gonna be loud, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna, it's actually like really loud. Maybe I'll step a little further away from it so the mic picks it up less, but I feel like it's really loud. Should I just wait? All right, now that that fucking thing is done, I feel like I can talk again. So the latte we're making is Persian tea, which is just black tea really, but you know, there's a billion different types of black tea, but I think you can sub any type of black tea you want. I can ask my parents what brand that stuff is though. Again, this thing, like, it's just unnecessary for it to be as loud as it's being. So we have some frothed milk. To that, I'm adding some rose water. This is from the Persian store. And then I'm gonna add a bit of not rose powder, which I do have, but I'm actually adding just a bit of beet powder because I just want to get the frothed milk to be like a pretty pink. I also have this date caramel that I was trying to tell you about before that thing just like went apeshit. So for the date caramel, it's not dissimilar from the date caramel that we made a few weeks ago for our Earl Grey latte. This one is 1 cup pitted medjool dates. Now, something that's very, very important is anytime I give you date measurements in volume rather than saying like this number of dates, I want you to really pack in the dates. So like squeeze them in, otherwise the recipe won't come out right. So it's 1 cup pitted medjool dates, 1 cup of the Eden Foods soy milk that I use for everything, 1/4 teaspoon of black cardamom, like the seeds that are inside the pod. So if you have cardamom in whole pods, break open the pods. We don't need the shell, just the seeds. And you can use green cardamom too. I just had black cardamom that was already shelled. I think green cardamom would work better. And then it's 1 teaspoon of saffron threads. My saffron is from Iran, not to brag. So it's this stuff, it's the whole threads. I do recommend actually getting your saffron from a Middle Eastern store. Persian saffron is way better, I'm so sorry, than Spanish saffron. It's just a statement of fact. And then for the saffron, this is really important. I've heard a few people DM me and tell me that they were making this mistake. To bloom saffron, you want to put it on ice cubes and not use hot water. And then just the process of the ice melting will bloom the saffron. So you want to bloom the saffron first and then do all the other things. So I did that yesterday in preparation for today. Now I'm going to froth this some more with the beet powder and the rose water in there. I'm gonna add a bit more of this beet powder because I want the pink to be more pronounced. It's not enough beet powder to like really add a lot of flavor for what it's worth. Yeah, that's much more like what I wanted color-wise. Maybe I'll go even a bit more. Why not? Oof, whoopsie. Okay, that's like plenty. Beyond this, I think it'll actually affect the flavor, which we really do not want. Wow. In Farsi, we call rose, well, specifically the type of rose that's used for rose water and stuff like that, we call it gol surkh, which means red flower. All right, let's get this dog shit away and let's have our, okay, whatever. We'll clean that later. Let's have our rose latte. So we're gonna do some of this guy, and by some, I mean quite a bit of it, because why the fuck not? Oopsie. This set, by the way, is from Zara Home. I will link. Oh my God, not me having beet powder under my nail. Oh my God, what do we think of the nails? I went rectangular, or I mean square, whatever. Like in geometry, I'm sorry, these are rectangles, but whatever. Neither here nor there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's give her a taste. Oh, it is so Persian. Oh, I love this. Oh my God, I can't wait to make this for my parents when I go down for Persian New Year's. You know, not to break the fourth wall, but I'm going to. I'm actually filming this a few weeks ahead of time because that's just how the production schedule is. But the war started 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Honestly, the day the war started was the day I was gonna start filming this episode, because it does take 2 days to film some of these episodes, just because, like, you'll see why. I decided to put it off for a few days because that first day when the war started, I've never felt like that before, is the only way I can say it. Like when I opened my phone in the morning and saw my texts, it just felt like the floor like gave way from underneath me. Like, I don't know if you watched Beast Games on Amazon, Mr. Beast's game show, but they had these things where all the contestants are in their little area, and they have these trick floors where the floor can come out from underneath them and they free fall. And I mean, there's like padding and stuff, they're safe, but it looked terrifying. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was in Beast Games. You know, my whole family being bombed felt like I was in Beast Games. No, it felt like, by the way, my family wasn't bombed, to be clear. Like, my family isn't a part of the Islamic Republic. I just mean like bombs falling where my whole family, other than my parents, live. That's what I meant. It truly felt like the floor was pulled out from underneath me and I was just like free falling for the rest of the day. Like, it was like nothing I've ever experienced before. Yeah, I decided to put off filming by a couple of days just so I could like get my thoughts and my mind right. But like, what a perfect way, I feel like, to pay homage to, is it homage? It's not homage. Is it homage? Am I okay? It's certainly not homage, right? Oh, whatever, we have a pretty international audience. We all probably pronounce it in different ways anyway. But yeah, to pay homage to my Persian culture, so it is kind of perfect. That is insanely fucking delicious. Okay, we're gonna move on. So basically, here's what we're making. We're gonna do a little platter because a really common thing in Persian culture is what we call Paneer Sabzi. And noon means bread. Paneer means cheese, and sabzi means herbs. So people will make this spread of like Persian breads and Persian cheese, which is kind of like a feta adjacent kind of cheese, and then fresh herbs and radishes and scallions, sometimes other things on the platter. And we'll eat it like with breakfast or like break a fast with it or whatever it may be. Like, oftentimes just start meals like that. So we're gonna do that. I have recipe tested the fuck out of trying to create a healthy, vegan, light, but high in protein version of the Persian cheese. And I think I finally fucking nailed it. And then the other thing we're gonna make is, you know, as aforementioned, I have all the bread. It's in here. We'll grab it in a sec. And the other thing we're gonna make is, you know, a hiva-fied, a blushified version of one of my favorite Persian dishes, which is this eggplant dip. We call it kashkeh bademjan. So I'm just gonna drink this for another sec and then we're gonna get started on our eggplant. Okay, you wanna hear something really fucking chaotic? I actually completely forgot that I need to like, I don't know, slice my onions, chop up the eggplant, whatever. So I'm just gonna like mandolin this onion into the brazier while the stove is on and just like hope no one catches on fire, but whatever, we'll see what happens. Just gonna spray this guy and please don't catch on fire, please don't catch on fire, please don't catch on fire. Ah! Oh, it's okay, Sam, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to scream. Pretty good. I'm gonna give it a minute to heat up and then we'll start our chaos session. This thing really does heat up so quickly. So I'm just gonna start. I feel like this should be okay-ish. Okay, no. I need to adjust. Okay, I feel like that should work. Let's see. I think it would be a billion times easier if I did this one at a time. Like one half at a time. There we go. Okay, this isn't even going that poorly. So this dip is traditionally made by first caramelizing onions, which honestly is like how most Persian dishes are traditionally made. Okay, I'm sweating my ass off at this point. And then you add in the eggplant and you saute it. And then you add in something that's called kashkeh, which is kind of like yogurt, but way more salty. I don't entirely know how it's made. Like, it's obviously a cow milk product, but I don't entirely, I'm just gonna do it to the side. I think it's gonna be a billion times easier. But yeah, I don't entirely know like if it's just like yogurt with a lot of salt in it or exactly what it is. But I made my own version that is vegan and high in protein and lighter, yada, yada, yada. So for that, I used a cup of soaked raw cashews, which I then strained. So for anytime I say soaked cashews, what I mean is either soaked overnight or for like 10 minutes in hot water. And then I strained those, rinsed them out, and blended with 1 cup of the soy milk, the Eden Foods soy milk, just to like add more creaminess and also add a lot of protein. And then I added 5 tablespoons of white miso. So that's all that is. Is it like identical? Probably not, but good enough, it's gonna work. So basically for the cheese, it's a whole process, so I had to blend that yesterday, so I figured I'd just do all my blending yesterday. So that's why it happened like that. Good enough. Oh my God, it's so fucking hot. I'm so happy I have the AC on in the technical winter, but that's fine. It's also like literal winter, you know what I mean? Like even after spring equinox, like it's not like spring for a while. Okay, if you are from Australia, I would love for you to opine on this. In my opinion, in the Northern Hemisphere, or in America specifically, I feel like the end of the summer is the hottest. Like the last month of the summer is the hottest. And I feel like spring is our rainy season, and then, you know, like spring showers bring Mayflower, April showers bring Mayflowers, whatever. Like end of spring, right before summer, is the rainy season. And then beginning of summer is like kind of cool. End of summer is the hottest time, right? But I feel like in Australia, it's kind of flipped. I feel like their first month of summer, which is December, which is technically incorrect. Technically, the seasons change around the 21st. Like that's just the astrologically correct thing. But Australia has declared that summer starts on December 1st. Whatever. It is so hot. Oh my God, I'm like literally sweating. Anyway, so I feel like their first month of summer is like by far the hottest month, and then it just keeps getting cooler. And then their rainy season is more so the end of summer than it is their spring. Like it's like it's flipped, you know what I mean? Which I guess makes sense because they are upside down, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna start chopping up some eggplant to add to this. And then what I think I might do is add the eggplant and then move all this to the back stove to finish cooking there, because if this continues to be near me, I will melt. Like you'll just see a puddle on the floor that was once hiva, so that's great. Okay. And I always use Japanese eggplant because you never have to salt it. It never gets bitter. It's just kind of perfect. You know what I'm gonna do? I actually can't handle this being here anymore. Like it's so uncomfortable. I'm gonna move it now and I'll keep chopping. So back to the wharf. I promise it's not like a deep political thing, but the morning of the first bombing, remember the story I was telling about how when I was checking my phone, so I was actually standing right there. I will never forget the moment. So I opened my phone and I just like see all my text previews in a row of all the texts that had come in while my phone was out here and on Do Not Disturb. The first thing I see is a bunch of texts from a bunch of different people, including Ozzy, that are like, oh my God, just saw the news. Are you okay? Is your family okay? By the way, to those of you who DM'd and stuff too, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so I just see those text previews, and that's when obviously I could surmise like, okay, it has happened. And that's when I was like, you know, everything I was saying about, you know, I felt like the floor giving out from underneath me, whatever. And other text amongst this bunch of like, are you okay? Is your family okay texts was Ozzy's brother, who we'll just call Mike for the sake of the story. I just see a message preview from him that says, this is what I wore to the races yesterday, because they had just gone to the horse races, and literally I'm like, okay, like, not now, Mark, like, read the room. But I think because I was so distracted by, you know, like, worrying about my family and all that stuff, it didn't fully click to me, like, how weird it would be if Mark, was I calling him Mark or Mike? It doesn't matter. Obviously, that's not his real name. If Mark actually were to text me, like, here's what I wore to the races, like, he's not like a fashion guy, you know? But like, I just didn't even connect that in that moment. I was just like, whatever, like, Mark texting me his outfit, like, read the room, this can wait, you know? But then like hours later, I was just trying to find ways to distract myself and soothe myself. And I was like, oh, let me go see what Mark wore to the races. And it was only when I opened his text that I realized his younger daughter took his phone to text me a photo of her outfit. And it wasn't him being like, here's my outfit. Anyway, she looked very cute, in case you were wondering. While that eggplant cooks, I wanna start doing other stuff for our little platter. So I'm largely sticking to kind of the traditional veg that would go on this platter, like the radish and the fresh herbs, and cucumber is common, scallions are common. I'm adding a few more things, including, I'm gonna do one apple, and there's two reasons why I'm doing this. Number one, for Persian New Year's, you're supposed to make what's called like an altar. We call it a sofre, and it has all these things on it that symbolize different things, and an apple is one of them. So I just thought it would be really fitting. But the other reason is because I have to shoot a brand campaign with these apples. This isn't it, I'm not being paid for this. And they're really fucking good apples. These like sun chaser apples, they're really good. So I just like want one, so that's why I'm doing it. Anyway. By the way, I'd like to take this moment to just apologize for the appearance of my nose. I recently I got a tretinoin prescription, which is a type of retinol, and I used that online pharmacy for hers, just like for ease and convenience. Honestly, if I'd just gone to like a normal dermatologist and gotten a prescription, probably would have been cheaper. I think my insurance would have covered it, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so the tretinoin, like when I was filling things out, I was like, oh yeah, like I have extremely oily, acne-prone skin that like never gets sensitive, like I never peel, I can handle actives really, really well, which is all true. So apparently they decided like, oh, let's just like put like fucking like, you know, whatever we can find in this. Like let's just put the type of acid that people use in like chemical warfare in this. So they gave me like, I think it's a 0.09 formulation, like percentage of tretinoin with azelaic acid and niacinamide. It's taking so long for my skin to adjust to it. My skin's actually really getting better, but my nose, like I don't realize until I try to put makeup on how much it's peeling. So it's just like a fucking mess right now. So yeah, just, you know, I'd really appreciate some grace and privacy in this trying time in my life. This apple. Phenomenal apple. Okay. I'm gonna make this, I'd made like the slices thicker for the onions. I'm gonna make it less thick for these radishes, although we'll see just how much. Now you might notice that there are no watermelon radishes present today, which is very counter to how I usually live my life. I quite frankly could not find any. I'm making it thinner. I think I'd made it thicker before. Wait, this apple's so good. Okay, let's try that. While I do this, should I tell you about the cheese? So I tried like a billion different ways to do it. It really was not an easy one, but ultimately what ended up working really, really nicely was soaked cashews overnight. So I did a cup of soaked cashews. I did 20 grams of dried Irish sea moss soaked overnight. So let me backtrack on this sea moss. So like you might know of sea moss as sea moss gel, where you buy it like in a jar at the store. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the dried sea moss that those manufacturers make the gel with. When you buy the dried sea moss, it's so much more cost effective. They use like this much to make that jar of gel. The rest of it's just water. So if you just buy dried sea moss yourself, I order mine on Amazon, I'll link it, and then soak it. You can make your own gel for so much cheaper. Anyway, so I did 20 grams of the dried stuff. Now, I generally try to make my recipes such that I don't give weight measurements, because like a lot of people don't have kitchen scales, and like honestly, it's not that fucking deep, you know what I mean? But with sea moss, because like visually it's so hard to tell what's going on, the weight really does help. Hold on, let me just check on the eggplant real quick. Woo. So we're gonna cook the eggplant down till it's like a pile of mush, basically. Anyway, so the sea moss, because it's hard to tell how much you have just visually, it really is important to weigh it. So 20 grams soaked overnight, 2 cups of that soy milk, 2 teaspoons of lactic acid powder. This is what gives it that like tangy fermented taste. 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, a half a cup of white miso plus 1 tablespoon, which is also the equivalent of 9 tablespoons. And 3 tablespoons of refined coconut oil. It has to be refined. You can't do like regular coconut oil. It will taste coconutty, but the refined coconut oil just gives it that like saturated fat mouthfeel that is in real cheese. But by keeping it to 3 tablespoons, like the yield of this cheese is over 6 cups. So like per serving, you're getting really negligible amounts of the coconut oil, the saturated fat specifically. So it does keep it quite light. And I'll actually tell you about the macros in a second. So for that, basically everything that was soaking, you drain and then blend until it's unbelievably smooth. And I will tell you right now, if this recipe doesn't work for you, it's because you're not blending it enough. And that goes for any of my sea moss recipes. You have to blend like 5 times longer than you think you should. Like you have to blend to the point where you think your blender is going to explode. You have to blend to the point where, oh my God, remember when I had a maggot infestation in my blender? I'm still kind of traumatized by that. Okay, these are really beautiful. Now it's time for our purple daikon radish. By the way, like we just use like the regular radishes, but I just thought it would be like so blush coated to just find like every fucking pretty radish that I can. Oh, and this one's too big for the mandolin. That's great, I love that. Okay. Oh, what do we do? I guess I can cut it in half this way. Wow, look at that. That's stunning. Oh, I'm so obsessed with my nails. I did a Russian manicure. So I did Russian hard gel. If you get manicures and you've never tried Russian and you've been curious, listen, does it cost an arm and a leg? Yes. Like, am I gonna have to start looking at new streams of income? Yes. Am I considering OnlyFans? Maybe. Maybe there's nail porn out there. Is that a thing? Because I don't really know what else I'd be qualified to do. The way they clean those fucking cuticles, oh my God. Like she was like, I'm so sorry if it hurts. I was like, it feels so good. Keep doing it. It's like, I feel like my hands have never been clean before. Okay, that is actually beautiful. Let me check on the eggplant. Not bad, a little burnt on the bottom because at first I just had the temperature too high, but oof, we need a little more latte. I love how it's like midnight and I'm just kidding, it's not midnight, but it is too late for me to be having caffeine, but it doesn't fucking matter because I have to shoot a whole campaign after this too, and I have to make a matcha in that, so I guess we'll just be up all night. I think I'm not gonna go to solid core tomorrow, just on account of, you know, I'll probably be up all night. Wait, also, I finally, after 10 years, learned how to do flat iron curls. Flawless, beautiful, delicious, amazing. Okay, so then I poured that blended stuff into basically like a silicone brownie pan. Now, one thing I would recommend that I fucked up for this is I would recommend, wait, what were we talking about? These are just so good. And they're, you know what it is? Like, they're a really basic apple. Like, it's not like a crazy variety of apple, but they're just good. Like, they're just really nicely executed. Ooh, I forgot. I'm gonna do cucumber ribbons too. What was I talking about? Oh, so one thing that I fucked up was I should have put something hard underneath that silicone pan, like something like a baking tray or something, or a cutting board, and use that to lift it, because if you get cracks in it early, it kind of gets fucked up. Anyway, so you want to refrigerate that until it sets to the point where you can like flip it over out of the mold and it won't, like, it's like solid. So you want to do that. And then I diced it and then I added it to a brine. For the brine, I did 2 tablespoons of salt per cup of water. Like, just literally just added water and salt and like shook up the jar, and then added the diced cheese situation to that. And that's it. That's fucking it. Oof, this cucumber smells so nice. Okay, I'm so excited to make this. And then real quick, I'm gonna just chop up a pickle. My dad made these pickles and I've had this jar in the fridge and forgotten to use it. Also, there's something about like saying my dad and pickles in the same sentence that like kind of gives incest to it. It's neither here nor there. Oh, these are so cutesy, baby. What should I do with these? Maybe I'll just slice them on a bias. On a bias. Wait, but like I have to have a bit. Oh, this is a bit of pepper from in there. Ooh, just squirted. Also, now me saying dad pickles and squirted in the same vicinity. Maybe that's what my OnlyFans can be, so I can pay for my Russian manicures. Okay, we're gonna move right along from that. All right, I'm gonna go grab the cheese. We'll do the bread. We'll do some assembling. Actually, maybe this eggplant is ready and we'll do that first. I don't know. Let me go check on things, okay? Okay, so this is our cooked eggplant mush. This is our quote unquote vegan kashkeh. It's delicious. So we're not gonna use all of this, just a bit of it. We're just gonna mash it in. This smells so good. Now, this is one of those dishes that is usually really decorated and styled. So usually they decorate it with more of the kashkeh or just regular yogurt on top, and then fried garlic and like fried onions and fried mint. But we're doing none of that. We're gonna do it our own way. And this is one of those dishes that growing up, my mom would always ask for my help in styling because she just thought I had a really good eye for food styling, which, I think the argument could be made that she was really fucking right. So by the way, I think I ended up using like 3 of those Japanese eggplants and 1 large sweet onion. And then this, you just kind of want to eyeball and taste and get it to however you like it. So it should be like creamy, but not. By the way, if someone compares this to baba ganoush, like, you're done. Don't even come anything baba ganoush. Do not send me that DM. I will block you. I'm going to tell you right now. It's not like baba ganoush, it's a bill. I mean, baba ganoush is great, don't get me wrong. This is so much better. So yeah, do not come at me with that bullshit. I can't wait to show you the cheese. It's like crazy looking. I mean, crazy in terms of how much it looks like cheese. Yes, yes. But we need more salt in here. I kind of want to add just like plain miso because I don't want to add more of that. I feel like it's creamy enough, but it does need just more saltiness. So that's just kind of like 1 heaping tablespoon of miso. I feel like that should be plenty. I love that sound. It reminds me of the sound I was talking about with mac and cheese a few episodes ago. Oh, remember that Vegemite episode? That was a really great one. Really enjoyed that. I love that. I'm even adding a little bit more. Miso and eggplant truly are a match made in heaven. One of my first like really good recipes when I first started doing this shit was a miso eggplant. So good. I'll find a photo of it. And that was before I really knew how to do like food photography correctly. It was before I knew how to do lighting and stuff correctly. But I had fun with it. Okay. Yep, that is perfect. Not touching it anymore. I have another sip of my tea because God forbid I go to sleep anytime this century. Okay, before we move on, I just want to style this eggplant. I'm just gonna thin out some of this cashew blend for drizzling on top. In lieu of the fried onion and garlic, I have some dried minced garlic and onion. And in lieu of the fried mint, I have some basil oil, which isn't even mint. And I really thought it was gonna be green because when I've made basil oil, it's been green, but that's fine. It's fine. So we're just gonna drizzle that on top. And I know mint isn't basil, but they're similar. I think I'm gonna try adding some parsley just for like a pop of fresh and green. Yeah, I like that. And I'm thinking some bok choy flowers. Yes, yes. Oh my God, how good does that look? One last touch, some crystallized shoyu, just to get a little black on there. Oof, whoopsie. Cool, good enough. Okay, now that we have this, let's do the rest of our platter. Now, ooh, I forgot I have these radishes too. Oh, whatever, I don't need to cut those. So here's what I'm thinking. This might go on our platter if there's room. And if not, it won't. So, you know, great takeaways. But I want to cut some bread first. So we have 2 types of Persian bread. I originally just asked my parents for this one kind. And I'm going to grab a different loaf, but they sent the other one too. So this one is called bademjan. This is what it looks like. And this one is called sangak. This has a pocket in it. Sangak does not. And one of my fond childhood memories is on the weekends, we would go to buy bread and then we'd like take scissors and sit and like cut the bread and put it in the freezer for like the whole week. But I remember cutting it with scissors so vividly and I really enjoyed it. So it's like fun to do it here with you now, yay. Also, fun fact, those are white sesame seeds, but the black seeds are actually black seed. They're not black sesame seeds. Also, is that a fun fact? Or is it more of like an arguably boring fact? I'm gonna cut these into triangles for no reason other than I want to. / I just think it could look pretty. I don't know. This piece was always my favorite, the end piece. When you toast it, you can get a nice pocket, and then I'd make sandwiches in it. Yum. Yum, I can't wait to feast when this is over. Okay, that's good. Now let's cut into some of this. So sangak is a thinner kind of bread. It's more like this is more of an everyday bread. Sangak is more, I mean, maybe it's just for my family. I feel like we would eat bademjan all the time, but like sangak was more niche. Like we didn't have it as often, but I don't know. What am I doing here? I feel like we're losing the plot. Okay, whatever. I have a girl coming by like not long from now to buy my hamper, like from Facebook Marketplace. Let's hope we're done. Otherwise, maybe we'll get her in the shot, you know? Okay, it's time to go get our cheese. Okay, look at this and tell me, does this not look like real briny cheese? It does, right? So I'm gonna put some in a little baby bowl. I have to be careful with this because it's delicate like a flower. Oof. Oh, fuck. Okay, it's pretty good. Let's move this shit out of the way and let's get to assembling. Okay, so we could do like this here, that works. We're gonna put some ugly stuff at the edges, like the bread. Not that bread's ugly, I just mean it's not, you know, it's no fucking like bright pink radish. Okay, I like that. I like it like that. Let's take our beautiful pink radicchio. This is a particularly stunning one in my opinion. Let's have her enter the chat. And now I don't know what the fuck to do. Okay. So my vision for the cucumber was that we just do these like, kind of like that. Just like ribbon messes. This is going great. Okay, that's not bad at all. I mean, there are like 15 herbs I need to add to this, so I need to start being a little more intentional. Do some radishes here. We need some herbs to enter the chat. Okay, this is great actually, because then I can place things above it. So, do some apples, and then some of these guys. Wait, this is so fun. Oh my God, it's stunning. Let's add some of these. Probably didn't need to slice so many fucking radishes, but listen, you gotta have options. Oh, I love that. Oh. I'm adding on some red currant because I saw some in the store. Not traditional at all, but my mom loves them and I love my mom, so that's the logic with that. Wait, I'm getting like really hungry. Fuck? The fuck? What do we think of this? I feel like it needs something. What am I missing? Oh, well, the pickles aren't on. Oh my God. I made these little like pearl red onion pickles because I thought they'd be like so beautiful. Like I don't, where do I put it? Like, I actually literally don't know what the fuck to do with these. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'll do one more. How about right here? Okay, I like that. I still think it needs something. Hold on. I think I know what to add to this. I bought some hyacinth flower. These are not edible, to be clear. So I'm gonna put them right in the food bit. That's great. But they're a traditional thing that you add to the Persian New Year's altar, the haftzin. So I thought it could be a really pretty way to decorate our platter here. Okay, I kind of think this is perfect. That's insane. Okay, before we say goodbye, or khodafis in Farsi, I do want to tell you about the nutrition in this cheese. So a 1 ounce serving of like a regular kind of like feta type briny cheese has 75 calories, 6 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, and 1 gram of carbs. So this one has 37 calories, 2.4 grams of fat, and 1.8 grams of protein. So like not as much protein as a cow's milk cheese, but half the calories. So, you know, it's just much lighter, way less fat. Okay, we have to eat something. I'm gonna just use a burner to toast some of this bread because I don't feel like cutting out the toaster. So we're gonna do it the old school way, just catch on fire. You know what I learned about my partner of 5 years relatively recently? Apparently he's a pyro. Who knew? The bread's literally on fire, by the way. Literally on fire. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna take a bit of this cheese, smear it on. Oh, I haven't even had this. Okay, we'll do a little bit of everything together. It's another fucking hit. What can I say? What can I fucking say? Everything's amazing. I wish my parents were here. I am getting kind of emotional though, because I really wish my parents were here to see this. Like, they would love it, like, to taste this. It's so good. That's fucking insane. All right, I need to go. This girl's probably here. And, sorry, I just texted her back. She's literally about to be here. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for being here. You know, we try to keep it light and fun. Obviously, the world's really heavy right now. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Pray for people. Pray for yourself. I don't even know what the fuck to say. We'll chat next week. I feel like we should end on a better note than that. Yo, this is like one of my favorite things I've made. This is one of my favorite episodes I've done. It's really special to me and everything looks like fucking stunning. I don't even want to clean. Like, fuck brand campaign. Let's keep this shit out here. No, but seriously, make some of this stuff. If you do, let me know. Whatever, you know the drill. We'll chat next week. Bye. Oh my God, I'm so excited to record.